Hello Minecrafters and welcome back to another redstone video. Today I want to show to all of you 2D golf fully implemented in vanilla Minecraft. We will explore how the game displays game objects, how the ball moves and interacts with other game objects such as wall and game surfaces. We will also talk about ball power, friction and wind detection of the game. So just sit back, relax, and let's jump right into today's video. First, let's talk about how the game displays anything. In order to display color for the game, we need a color pixel display. There are many different color pixel displays such as concrete powder based color display or sugar box based color display. However, in my opinion, map color display is the best one because the redstone needed to interact with it is significantly simpler and you can have the entire display on one block. A map display is a fixed 100 by 28 by 100 by 28 pixel display. Each pixel on the map corresponds to a block in the world. You can also increase the resolution scale of the map, so each pixel on the map corresponds to an area of blocks. To display color when the map scale increases, you place random color blocks in like this, and then you place the color block you want to display on the map at the northwest corner of the area, and the color of that block will appear on the map. Next, we will design some game objects for our game. In this game, there are a few game objects. We have golf ball object, wall object, some surface objects such as grass, sand, and ice. Each of these game objects occupies a 4x4 grid of pixels on the map. To display these objects, my good friend and awesome redstoner S.O.A.R designed this display module, which allows us to display all the game objects. We took heavy inspiration from Crafty Masterman's Sprite Tower for his geometry craft recreation. The way it works is when we select an object, the pistons will push blocks which make up that object into the northwest corner of all the pixels. When that happens, we will get our object displayed on the map. These modules, when put together, also have an XY plotter which allows me to plot the ball anywhere on the display by changing the X and Y coordinate values of the ball. This is crucial for the ball physics, which I will get into now. There are three things we need to consider when doing ball physics, which are ball movement, to tell how the ball moves, ball collision, to handle how the ball interacts with wall objects, ball power and frictions, to determine how far the ball moves. For the ball movement, I took inspiration from Muppet Wings and Sloimate Atari breakout game. The logic behind it is very simple. Instead of having complex math in order to figure out how the ball moves, we pre-program all of the ball directions. We have up and down, left and right, the 45 degrees diagonals, and the 30 and 60 degrees diagonals. This gives us 16 different directions to choose, which creates a lot of variations for the game. For up, down, right, left, and the 45 degrees diagonals, we only need to take the current X and Y coordinates of the ball and add 1 or -1 to move the ball to wherever we want. However, for the 30 and 60 degrees diagonals, we will have this oscillating behavior where the ball moves horizontally or vertically by 1 first and then moves diagonally by 1. To solve this issue, instead of treating the ball as a pixel, we get the 2 pixel coordinate of the ball, because remember, our ball is made out of a 4x4 grid of pixels. Then we applied our directions. So let's say the true pixel coordinate of the ball is the redstone lamp. If we want to move up, down, we add plus or -4 to the Y coordinate. Same goes for right and left, but for the X coordinate, for 30 degrees diagonals, we add plus or -4 to X and plus or -2 to Y. When this happens on the first time, the ball true position is here. If we convert the true position to the ball position that the player sees, the ball moves horizontally first. Then on the second time, the ball true position is here And again, if we convert this to the ball position that the player sees, the ball now moves diagonally. The same thing also applies to the 60 degrees diagonals but vertically. Implementing this in redstone is very simple. We just have two adders, one for each axis, to add the ball to position with the directions represented as Vx and Vy. The output of the adders will be redirected to the XY plotter to plot our ball onto the screen. For ball collision, I have developed a small algorithm to do this. The algorithm takes ball to position and the ball current direction in the X and Y axis as inputs. First, it computes x plus Vx to move the ball horizontally by Vx. Then it converts this new to position into game object position that the player sees. Next, it checks if this object position is over. If true, we flip Vx direction so the ball goes the other way and set true position back to X at the input. If false, we do nothing. We do the same check but for the Y axis as well. Finally, after we do all of the checking, we return Vx and Vy back to the system to update the ball position correctly. For computing new X and new Y, I have another two others in gray wool right here. These variables are then sent to this black circuit, which does that if condition in the algorithm. The reason why it is so big is because I need to check for every display positions for wall objects. The updated Vx and Vy after going through this checking will be fed to the brown circuit, which is the part for calculating the ball direction. So far, our ball can move and bounce off walls. However, we haven't added power to the ball and frictions to determine how far the ball will move. At first, I was thinking of doing some complex physics to simulate power and frictions, but it was too complex, so I opted for a much simpler approach. First, we defined the friction values for surface objects. After discussing this matter with Variable, we decided that grass would be 1, sand would be 2, ice would be 0, and hole will be 5. To handle power and friction, I also came up with a small algorithm for this. The algorithm takes power value and ball positions as inputs. The algorithm is just a while loop which checks when power value is less than or equal to 0. Inside the while loop, it checks for the surface underneath the ball to subtract the friction value from the power value. When power value is less than or equal to 0, the game clock will stop, which stops the game from updating the ball position. When the game clock is stopped, it checks to see if the ball display position is the hole position. If true, the ball is in the hole and thus you win. For implementing this in redstone, I have this subtractor to subtract friction value from the power. The friction value is computed here, and when power is less than or equal to 0, the game clock, which is this very long comparator and repeater clock, will stop. Checking for win is just checking for this line to turn on and the clock to stop. If these two conditions are met, the AND gate will give an output to indicate that the ball is in the hole. And that's the end of today's video. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and most importantly, I hope that you have learned something from today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a nice day everyone, and enjoy the showcase.